Hey, my name's James Williams. I am a ex-professional contemporary dancer and now full-time filmmaker. Why am I on the panel? I'm on the panel talking about dancers' mental health because my journey out of dance and into filmmaking was sort of pushed by my own mental health. I was unhappy seeing myself as a performer. I was unhappy walking up onto stage. And the only way for me to seemingly break that cycle of sort of a downward spiral in my own content with myself was to leave dance, to walk away from it, to find another outlet for creativity and for what I wanted to make and what I was passionate about, and I found that in film. So with that sort of trail of thought, I ended up working extensively with dance companies, circus companies, physical theatre companies and artists, and found myself co-producing a feature documentary last year called Building a Dancer with director and choreographer Brendan Hansford. Following the release of that documentary, me and Brendan had multiple conversations about pressures around body image, pressures around social media, pressures around the commercial and dance industry as a whole, and how it sort of interlaid with other parts of the industry like contemporary and like ballet. I ended up creating another short film with Omari Carter from ex-Stomp dancer and director of the Motion Dance Collective. And we were making a piece called Finding My Feet, which was following his recovery process and his creative recovery process post-injury. And what we found was a sort of parallel between what Brendan and I had been talking about and what Omari was going through, and some hints from my own past. And we realized there was this sort of overarching theme of dancers not being able to talk about and deal with the psychological pressures of being a performer, being a freelancer, needing to uphold a certain body image and the pressures of doing that, and the pressures of needing to be seemingly perfect all of the time. And there was no outlet for that, and there was no normality around doing that. So myself and Omari are now producing another feature documentary with the working title With Dance in Mind, and that's really about bringing to the forefront and normalizing the idea of talking about and highlighting the psychological trauma and the psychological side carriage of injury. So, not only physical injury, but the psychological injury that goes along with it, which can often be worse, which can often be left untreated for far longer, cause much more lasting damage, and ultimately sort of end careers. So that's something that we're really passionate about and we're pushing towards now, and hopefully something we can have some really constructive conversations about at the mental health dancers event at Capezio. I am not an academic. I'm not qualified in dance science or any sort of mental health capacity, and really what I hope to bring to the discussion at Capezio is just the ability to be honest and to be a leading example of someone just coming forward and talking as openly as I possibly can about the experiences that I've had, and that's not to say that they are that they are really bad. I'm not saying that I've had this horrific backstory that's going to shock everyone and make everyone, all of a sudden want to talk about their issues. It's just being able to be open and genuine and tell some my own version of truths, and feed into a conversation that I think is really important. That's what I hope to bring to the conversation here, and moving forward in general. That's what I hope to bring to the work that I produce from now on.